Hello, everybody. It's Trusty's Vintage Live Sale. Going live a couple minutes early. See some people are already in the chat, and I never feel like I have enough time to monitor the chat and say hi to everybody. So I figured, if I start a couple minutes early, maybe I'll catch some people. So Nate is in the chat tonight, representing our international contingent from New Zealand. Sometimes we get some Canadians as well, but not exactly the international festival that is the Trusty Live Sale. So Nate will be actually being my monitor this evening, so chatting with him. And he was talking about how life is in New Zealand. We'll just say it's very different than life in the United States right now. So yay to the New Zealanders, New Zealandites, Kiwis. I don't know what you're considered, but the people of New Zealand, they figured it out, and they're in a much better situation than we are. But Christmas is next week, as he quite kindly reminded me, and it's shocking to me to remember that because this has just been a crazy time. And in a week from tonight is Christmas Eve, which just floors me. Debbie from Chicago, thanks Debbie for joining the sale tonight. Belinda Carroll is in the house tonight, so hi Belinda, thank you for joining us. Carrie's coming in from Austin, Texas. So thanks, Carrie, for bringing in the Southern contingent. I apologize, Belinda. I do not know where you are based. So Debbie, as she says, is from Chicago. So she's down the street from me, but not sure where Belinda's coming in from. Rebecca Higgins coming in. Linda Punky's back. Melissa's back. Hey, Melissa. So great to have you guys here. Oh, Reclaimed Treasures by Mary. Mary's joining us tonight. Hi, Mary. Mary, if you are not following her channel, Reclaimed Treasures by Mary has her sales, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mary, but I think your sales are on Sunday afternoons. I want to say 3 p.m. Eastern, might be 5 p.m. Eastern. I can't remember. So if you want to drop a link or a note in the chat, Reclaimed Treasures by Mary. She often offers her photography. She does some great photography, includes that in her sales, and I picked up a couple things from her. So definitely check out Reclaimed Treasures by Mary. Katie is in the house, and Katie just flew right by. So where are we, Katie? Katie, so she's about 5 minutes from the house. No worries, Katie. Nate is here, so he is going to cover me tonight. You are doing double, triple, quadruple, quintuple duty in all of the other sales that you were moderating. So no worries. Nate is back. He is home. He is able to cover. So drive safe, Katie, and we will be here waiting for you when you come back. Let's see. We got Christina is joining us. Christina Aguilar, resale gal. The Frenchie mom is back. She's not holding against me that I did an entire fundraiser dedicated to dachshunds. The Frenchie mom is okay sharing the love with other dogs and other breeds. Donna from Southeast Georgia. I don't believe I recognize Donna's name. So thank you for joining us, Donna, and thank you for possibly being the only person from Georgia this evening. We got Dee representing let's see, she's outside in Niagara Falls. So we've got New York State being covered. And Dee also does her sales, Thrill of the Thrift. I apologize, I didn't print out the calendar this time. So Dee, if you want to drop a note, I don't remember when your sales are, but I know that Dee has some great live sales as well. And she has actually even been on one of my live sales, one of my group sales. So she's got some great stuff. Definitely check her out. Judy is joining us again. So thanks for coming back, Judy. Let's see. Trisha from Sandy and Otto, another great reseller. I actually caught her live sale. I think it was just days just kind of blend into each other. And I have a regular job, so I do have to focus on what day of the week it is. I want to say her sales were her sale was yesterday. Tuesday? No, I want to say Wednesday. So again, Trisha, Sandy and Otto, it's her channel. Check her out. Check her live sales out as well. She had a really cool original art piece that was from a book, that was just kind of cool. And the way she showed it, described it, it was a lot of fun. Sheila Putman is here. Thanks for coming back, Sheila. Helen Casey's back. Thanks, Helen. Dana's back. Grace 2010H. Suzanne McLean is here. I guess the softball season is over, so she has her Thursday nights free again. So Suzanne, she shares a she doesn't share it. She also has a booth where I have rent a space at the Rustic Fox. I've done a couple live sales from the Rustic Fox, and Suzanne McLean is number 17 vintage, and she has a space there as well. You can sometimes watch my Instagram. I've done some live videos there, recorded some videos, so you can see a couple of the different things from the Rustic Fox. We've got Melodies coming in from Pennsylvania. I follow her on Instagram, and it looks like they got quite a bit of snow. Probably D, you probably got a lot of snow too. I don't know. I don't exactly know where that storm front went through. My company's based in central Pennsylvania, and they sent everyone home yesterday, and we were told they were going to be home again today as well. So it seemed like quite a bit dropped in that area. I know into New Jersey as well. Dragonfly Attic is back. Thank you very much for coming back, Dragonfly Attic. And Laura's here. So she's taking a break from her evening of pool and to say hello. So BMOS Mercantile, she is the resin specialist. She's also doing some live sales with Tania from Hemlock Lady. I think they're usually on Hemlock Lady's channel. But she's got some great pieces. She was part of the fundraiser and donated a bunch of Dachshund resin keychains to the cause. So I always appreciate when Laura can make time for us. And let's see, a few minutes go. Let's see, precious lavender buttons. Yep, BMOS is at pool as usual. It's quite all right. You're allowed to have 2 lives. So precious lavender buttons. Joanne, thanks for coming back. Maria, empty nesting 2. Thanks, Maria, for coming back. I think this might be a new name, Ida Adolf. Seems like she knows Nate. So thank you for joining my channel, joining my chat. Holy cats. Maria is saying she got 28 to 30 inches. So she's outside Albany. I need to start learning my New York geography because the Huckster Helper has just been accepted, early decision, to the Cooperstown Museum Studies program in Cooperstown, New York. So when she graduates in the spring, she will be spending 2 years at the Cooperstown Institute getting a master's degree in museum studies. So I remember seeing where Cooperstown is. It's kind of the middle of the state, but I don't know how that compares to Albany. And I know that D is more up the Niagara Falls area. So anyway, so I will be probably visiting New York far more than ever, because I can't say I've ever really been to upstate New York, ever. No offense, but I'm from the Midwest. What do I need to go there for? Karen, representing the West Coast. We've got San Francisco. Thank you, Karen. I'll pass that on to the Huckster Helper. And let's see. We're trying to make. I always will feel bad if I miss somebody, so I'm trying to scroll through the chat, and it keeps jumping on me tonight because I'm running it through StreamYard, so it's not quite as flowy as sometimes you can get it directly. Dawn's here. So we talked about the Dachshund Rescue. Dawn is here. Dawn is the founder of the Just One More Dachshund Rescue. So for those of you who participated and supported that fundraiser, we raised over $3,500. When we finished the live sale, there was one item that had not sold, and I'm happy to announce that it shipped out this week and it sold. I put it on Etsy. It sold. It was a donation from Moonstruck Vintage CLE. She's on Instagram. She donated a beautiful oil painting of a pair of pointers, and didn't sell in the live sale, but put it on Etsy. It sold on Etsy, and I shipped that out. So I was able to make the final check to the Dachshund Rescue, and over $3,500, actually over $3,600 once we sold that. I can't remember the final number. So that was fantastic, and Dawn can put that money to good use because she's rescued a couple of dogs just since the fundraiser last month. So it's something that the money is well spent. And I haven't seen her in the chat, I don't think, but if you do not follow Kim from Oh My Vintage, she's now had 2 videos, one just this past week on Tuesday, and then one was I think a full week before on a Saturday. She's posting live premieres. So it's not a live video, but she is in the chat during the premiere if you're not familiar with premieres. So she'll talk to you as if it's a live chat, but she's already recorded it. She's opening her prize. We had basically a gift basket that was awarded during the fundraiser. And the gift basket was comprised of 35 mystery boxes from 35 different resellers from around the country, and actually from Canada as well. And Kim from Oh My Vintage won 35 mystery boxes. So she's posting a video, 2 videos so far, each opening 5 boxes. So she's going to be posting a few of them. And all I did was organize the people to donate. I had no idea what was being donated, and the videos are fantastic. Some people were, everyone was super generous. At no point do I want to diminish what anybody gave, but there were no rules. So in some cases, people gave, one really nice item or a couple small items, just, it was really more the concept that's just kind of cool to get all these boxes. But some of the boxes were chock full. I think Katie's was one she opened from Vintage Vinyl, opened on Tuesday. And I want to say something like 7 or 8 items in there. There was one she'd opened on the first video that I think ended up having like 12 items in it, and just all top quality, cool stuff. And Kim is just so much fun watching her open them. And she's so excited when she gets what she's getting. And I'm just excited to watch them because, like I said, other than what I sent her, I have no idea what other people were sending. So definitely check out Oh My Vintage, her YouTube channel. And she also is on Instagram, so she's been posting some reminders on there as well. But yeah, just a lot of fun. Going a few minutes past the hour, want to go ahead and get things started I wanted to kind of kick things off with a little bit of a sad note, but I just want to be able to say this and get it out there, and then to go on with the rest of the evening. If you followed me on Instagram, you may have already seen this. I've mentioned both the fundraiser, the mystery boxes that were sent out, as well as my live sales. There was a Comfy Trusty meetup that I hosted. Kelly from Found Again Vintage, or Found Again for You. She has a YouTube channel and she has an Instagram. Her family contacted me last evening and informed me that she had had an aneurysm on November 30th and had been hospitalized since that date. She was moved out of intensive care on Tuesday. Yes, I talked to them last night and they said she'd been moved out the day before. So she moved out of intensive care for Tuesday, but she was in intensive care for 2 weeks. She's still hospitalized. They do not know how long she will be hospitalized, but she will be there, and then she will need to go into rehabilitation. The aneurysm did cause some damage, and they're still kind of figuring out exactly how much that it will be. But she's conscious, so she is moved out of ICU. They are asking, the family's asking, we do not reach out to her via YouTube or Instagram, simply because at this point she does not have the capability of reading any of those messages. And as she recovers, they don't want her to be overwhelmed with dozens or hundreds of well-meaning messages that she may have a hard time processing. At this point, she actually has a little bit of memory loss. So at this point, what we're going to be doing, the family just asked we put her into our thoughts and our prayers. They really just wanted to make sure people were aware, because there had already been a couple of questions that had been coming out that no one had seen her or heard from her in a while. So it's terrible news that it happened, but great news that she's out of the ICU. I don't really know anything more than that. But what I will be doing is, she happens to be local to me. So I will be taking a plant. She's not allowed visitors, but I will be dropping off a plant and a card. If you knew Kelly, or if you just have well wishes for Kelly, please comment on my Instagram, the post that I put on the Instagram, because that's what I'm using to track all of the messages. I will include all of the names and messages to the family so they can pass those on to her. Don't do it here in the chat, only because I may not be able to go back and read the chat before I go to the hospital. So if you don't have Instagram, just send me an email to this email address on the screen. If you want to send a message or just say, that you're thinking of her, again, I will try and capture everyone's names and have that. So just so the family knows that even if she's not aware that we're thinking of her, that, at some point as she goes through her recovery, she'll know that she's being thought of. So that was not a fun way to kick off my sale, but I needed to share that. And thank you for all the kind comments that are being posted right now. So for the live sale, if you have, most of the names I've seen coming across up here are names I recognize. Hey, Teofane. Hey, Beth. Hey, Pat. See, I just get focused on talking and I lose track of the chat. Most of the names I do recognize, but there were some new ones. So just as a quick summary, if you are new to my channel, my live sales pretty much run the same the way most of the other live sales are running on YouTube. The biggest difference is I don't do auctions. So just be aware, every item that I show, I will be providing a price, and that is the price that you will pay. So it is more of a buy it now or first to claim, situation. So what you'll need to do is I'll show the item, I will describe it, I will give a price, I will then announce an item number. You need to enter the item number into the live chat. Now be aware, you do need to be in the chat, not in the comments. So if you're watching this on a mobile device, you will probably need to watch it through your app. I'm not 100% on Android, but at least on an iPhone, if you just watch it through like the regular Safari app, you don't get the chat feature. So you do need to have the access to the live chat. Then you will be seeing the comments that are coming in, people saying hello to Nate, Angela Marksberry, hi Angela, saying hi to everyone. If you're not seeing those, you're not in the live chat. So just make sure that's where you're at. And if you want something, just type the number that I give. The first person, my moderator this evening is Nate from New Zealand. So his internet is far, far away, run by hobbits. And so it's all going to be based on what Nate sees first. He will be posting in the chat, and he will also be letting me know, and I will be announcing. You may see yourself first, or you may see somebody else first. It's based on who Nate sees. So just be aware of that, and just I'm not going to get into this. Just be nice. We're all here to have fun. Nothing I have is going to solve world poverty or anything. So we're just here to have fun. So hopefully to make the best of it. If you want something, I hope you're successful. And if you are successful, the prices I give are the prices without shipping. So you would just need, if you've never bought from me before, you'll send an email to the email address on the screen. I will calculate what the shipping will be. If you buy one item, you buy 5 items, I'll combine them into one shipment. I'll give you the new shipping, the shipping cost, send you the invoice. As soon as you pay the invoice, I will ship the item. If you have not heard, if you've been living under a rock with the other hobbits, the US Postal Service, which is how 99% of what I ship is shipped, is in absolute chaos right now. So it is ridiculously unlikely that anything that you purchase from the sale tonight will reach you before Christmas. If you're local, I'm absolutely more than happy to meet you at the store or to make arrangements to get it to you. I would love to get it to you by Christmas, but even shipments within Illinois have been taking over a week, and I'm shipping from outside Chicago. So just keep that in mind. And there's really, at this point, I will give you the tracking number when it ships. You get an email that gives you that so you can track it, so you'll know exactly what's going on. At this point, the problem is half the shipments nationwide, half the shipments just say in transit, there's no information. So it is what it is. I do apologize, but there's nothing I can do about that. So just keep that in mind. That I hope, we have some fun items tonight, and I hope you find some things you like. You might be giving out some IOUs though, if you wanted to use this for a Christmas gift. So just keep that aware. Also, I've got behind me, this is my last live sale for the year, unless something special happens, because next week is Christmas Eve and the following week is New Year's Eve. It's unlikely I'm going to do a live sale on either one of those dates. So this is the last live sale that I'm going to be offering the Postcard of the Month Club. You can purchase these for yourself, or you can purchase them as gifts. Just send me an email who you want them sent to. You don't have to put that in the chat. You can just send me an email, so it can be all private and everyone can be surprised. And right now, the ones that I've been selling have actually all been gifts. So, those are just kind of nice. But two different packages are available. You've got package number 61 is 6 months of postcards. You'll get a vintage postcard in an envelope. So half of them will be postmarked and half of them will be unused, but they'll all be sent to you in an envelope, so that depending on how you like your postcards, you can either reuse it if it's not been used, or you have a pristine one for your collection. Number 99 is a full year's worth. Same thing. 6 of them will be used, 6 of them will be unused, but they will all be vintage. So grab those at any point during the evening. I have as many as I sell. There's no limit on these. So 61 and 99 are the two numbers, whether you want the $25 package for 6 months or the $50 package for 12 months, again, for yourself or for somebody else. And I wanted to go back to Angela Marksberry because I just saw her name pop across. And Kim from All My Adventures is here. Her ears were burning. Angela Marksberry is the person to follow on Instagram for the calendars. I usually try and print the calendar before I go on live, and I forgot to print the newest one this week. But she does some great organization to announce whose sales are happening. So she's great to follow at the beginning of the week. And then she and Katie from Vintage and Vinyl, and there's Vintage and Vinyl, they actually post, and usually will post a daily calendar as well, just so you know what's coming up for that day. Sometimes they're during the day, sometimes it's in the evening. There's so many things to keep track of. But also remember, these people are doing these things out of the goodness of their heart, and don't cause them stress because they might stop doing them. So I've got to give the full shout out to Angela for creating the weekly one, and then for both her and Katie promoting it as they are come available. So to get things started, I saw Melody's in the chat, so I'm going to start with this. Because if you follow me on Instagram, let me get my chat running here. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen this item. Now, sometimes when I post onto Instagram, I am posting items, because I want to promote what I'm going to be including in the sale. And sometimes they're fun, pretty, whatever. I try to have a mix of whatever I'm going to sell. But also sometimes I'm trying to protect myself because I want to make sure if there's any controversy or any question that I get to see the comments ahead of time. And this is a perfect example. As I'm holding this up, I want everyone to figure out who this is. If you don't follow my Instagram, you wouldn't have seen this. And I knew exactly who this was, but there was something that initially made me question it. But when I re-looked, I'm like, yeah, that's who it is. I'm good. It says right on the bottom, it is a Knickerbocker product from Hanna-Barbera Productions. So it is a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. And he is a dog. Everyone can see it's a dog. I believe, and I do not know this for sure because I couldn't find anything, he was a bottle. I want to say that these were the ones that carried bubble bath. That's my guess. But it's also a bank. So I don't know how this would have carried unless there was a seal here, and then the head was just always the bank. So this is still a functional item. This is a bank. So we've got Melissa, and I think I saw Dawn, Helen, Carol, everyone saying Huckleberry Hound. Top Cat was a related guess, but for a different reason. But this one is definitely the dog. But what Melody pointed out, which was 100% valid, he's not blue. Huckleberry Hound was blue. And so what I do not know is he's too uniformly colored. You can see that his head is a slightly different color than his neck, but it's not like he's been faded from the sun. So I don't know if he had a shrink wrap, like a plastic wrap over that made him blue. I don't think he did, because when I was doing the research for this and verifying it was Huckleberry Hound, because everyone is correct, that it is Huckleberry Hound, I did actually find a blue one in the UK, if I remember correctly. It was in Europe. And it said it was extremely rare, and it was selling for several $100s. And it was blue. It was the exact same item, but it was blue. He's red. So I spent many minutes going down the rabbit hole of Hanna-Barbera, trying to remember who this would be. Like, could this be a relative of Huckleberry Hound, like Orange Cream Hound or something? But everyone says this is Huckleberry Hound. He did have two hats, because Melody also questioned Huckleberry Hound's hat is like kind of like it was almost like a crown edged straw boater, but that was the same hat that Top Cat wore. So I think Hanna-Barbera's artists got confused sometimes, but he's wearing his tuxedo here with the top hat, and that was one of the images that Huckleberry Hound had. So it is Huckleberry Hound, but he is red. So but he's a cool bottle. It's like we're basically back in the 60s. If anyone, I kind of trying to watch the chat, I don't remember anyone. I don't see anyone actually saying it doesn't have the copyright on it, but I think basically Hanna-Barbera was the 60s. It does say Hanna-Barbera Productions, but I don't know. It's like Walt Disney Productions initially, and then it changed. I don't know that. I don't know the history of Hanna-Barbera to know, like, did they change their logo at any time? It does say they're North Hollywood, California, and it's CALIF. So I mean, again, I still think he's probably from the 60s, but he is Huckleberry Hound. He's not exceptionally rare. He is fairly regularly for sale on eBay. I'm pricing mine a little bit less than what you'd see on eBay because his toe got crushed. So he has a boo-boo. And somebody said Yogi Bear, so he has a boo-boo bear. No, he just has a boo-boo. But he's not Yogi Bear. It is Huckleberry Hound. It is the bank with the Knickerbocker production at the bottom, and I'm selling them for $8. So $8 for the Huckleberry Hound bank, blue or not, $8, number 33. $8.33 for the Huckleberry Hound. Which is probably the closest I'm ever going to come to selling something that's a huckster. All right. Next item is, again, for people that have been watching my channel for the last couple of weeks, there's something going on at the store that both Suzanne and I have our booths. We have a new tagging system. It's the third system the shop has used in 3 months. It opened in September, and we are now in the third tagging system. So everything has to be retagged this month. So some of the things that I'm pulling out are things that were in the booth. I hadn't tagged them from bringing them home to tag. And I'm like, you know what? I need stuff for my sale. So I'm just grabbing them. So number 33, the Huckleberry Hound went to Dawn Schunkweiler. So he's not a dachshund, but Dawn loves her doxies, but Huckleberry Hound will be a good addition to her collection. So anyway, so some of the items I have are coming straight out of my booth, and this is one of them. It is a little salt and pepper shaker. They are little old men, and they are two men. I would have assumed that it would have been a man and a woman, but these are old men because you can see they both have the bald heads with the crown of hair, and if one of them happens to be a woman, that's very unfortunate. This one has a mustache, so let's also hope that's at least a man. And I'm going to say the bow tie and the crown hair, that's a man as well. So we've got two men. Nothing wrong with that. But you've got like their little professors, their little, who knows what they are. But they're salt and pepper shakers. I cannot date them by age. They don't have any stamps on the bottom. They have the feel and the look that lighter weight porcelain from Japan, but they currently have plastic stoppers. And I find them interesting. The stoppers are not the same size. So it's also entirely possible this is a marriage. I didn't mean to use it that way, but hey, there's nothing wrong with two guys being married. That I'm not sure these necessarily were what originally went together, because I do find it odd that their holes, you can see the stoppers are significantly different in size. And you would have thought that if these were meant to go together, they would at least have the same stopper size. But regardless, cute little pair, great condition, no chips, no cracks. And really, as I was kind of looking at them, I don't even see any crazing or anything. So, I mean, they're just cute. One does have 2 holes, one does have 3. So if they are a marriage, it's a good marriage because you've got the differences. So anyway, it's the pair. Instead of tagging them for the booth, I'm selling them here. Pair of salt and pepper shakers for $5. $5 for the old men professor salt and pepper shakers. $5 for number 70. $5, number 70 for the salt and pepper shakers. All right. Next item, you will note that I get a lot of glass in my sales. And this one is a piece that I picked up. I'm going to say it is a candy container because it has that the opening all the way up that, maybe there would have been the sealed paper or something underneath it that would have held candy, but it's a decent size. I got my tape measure here. It is 5.5 inches tall, so it's a fairly large one. It is a dark green glass. I did put a black light to it. This does not glow, so it is just a dark green glass. It is the Goose Girl. To me, this kind of have the look of the Hummel figurine of the Goose Girl. So there's 2 geese basically attacking this girl. So we're just going to let that pass. But it's in perfect condition. No chips, no cracks. It's molded glass. You can see the seam on here. Again, it was a candy container, so we're not talking about high-end crystal or anything. It's just super cute. It's a really pretty color, and it is only $10. So $10 for the green glass Goose Girl. $10, number 85. $10, number 85 for the green glass Goose Girl. And nobody picked up the salt and pepper shakers, so I'm going to put them on the edge. And if somebody wants them later, they will see them. All right. Next item. This is another pair of items that actually came from the booth that I closed down, and they just never made it over to the new booth. So they weren't tagged. So the next item on here are the crystal snowball votive holders. So we've got clear glass. You've got the opening in there for the crystal. Now, I will say that this was picked up in an auction lot, a box lot, that included a number of clear glass crystal plates and bowls, some of which, one I actually have sold online already, had the Costa Boda label on it. These do not say Costa Boda, but these are extremely heavy. I do believe these are lead crystal, but they don't have the label to prove it. So I'm going to say they're lead crystal. I believe they're Costa Boda, but basically what you're buying are extremely heavy votive holders that they're called, when I found them online, they are called snowball votive holders, but they're really just like that really, rocky, it could be a boulder just as easily as it is a snowball crystal. So I've sold a few of these already online. These are the two that I had left sitting in the booth. I'm selling them for less than I sell them online because I don't have to pay commission to Etsy when I do it this way. So in this case, you're getting both of them for $12. So you get the pair of you get the pair of crystal votive holders for $12. You get that by giving me number 28. $12, number 28 for the pair of snowball votive holders. And it looks like we had no takers on the green Goose girl, so we'll put her over there as well. All right. The next item I picked up at an estate sale. Thought these were kind of fun because I'd never seen it before. So probably a lot of you have probably seen, I'm going to hold this up and you guys can tell me, a mug. It is pink, but when you have that little bar across there, a lot of people know what that is for. So hold on. Number 28 went to Old Stuff Beth. So thank you, Beth, for picking that up. So anyway, you've got that little bar. So as you're sipping, you'd be able to sip through there, but you've got this little protective bar. So if anyone knows, yep, Melody hit it. It is a mustache cup. Now, one of the things I actually just learned by accident, I already had these, but then I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about antiques, and they actually said what this was for. I thought it was so you didn't get loose tea leaves or whatever, like if you're drinking this for tea, that you wouldn't get it in your mustache, that it was just a way to separate, the liquid that is coming out. But what they were saying is that this is actually would have protected the mustache wax that the gentleman would have had in a certain era. It would have kept that from melting into your coffee or tea, which suddenly made a heck of a lot of sense. So I've seen mustache cups before, haven't necessarily had a ton of them, but I picked this one up. It's in great condition, no chips, no cracks. It is just as many mustache cups are. It's pink. It is gold. It is floral. So it is a fairly feminine design, but that is extremely common for the turn of the century mustache cups. But here's where I totally was thrown and got excited. It has a friend, and it's not a mustache cup. So this was a husband and wife cup. I mean, husband and wife or whatever. It's for a male and a female. So it has the same design. It's also pink. It has the floral. The non-mustache one, the gold, has had a little bit more wear to it. But considering these are over 100 years old, it's still, there's no chips, there's no cracks. They're in great condition. They do have a semblance of a mark on the bottom. I never could figure it out. The gold writing, I couldn't tie back to anything. It looked like the stamp at the bottom either says CJ or CT, but I couldn't find, Google Lens didn't give me anything, and neither of them were really clear enough to read. That is a 176, not a apostrophe 76, because this is also a 3-digit number, 189. So anyway, I just thought these were cool. And like I said, every once in a while I have the mustache cup, but I've never had a pair where one was for the husband and one was for the wife. So I thought these were cool. And I am making them available for, make sure I have a random tag that I don't know what this is for. Okay, that was for the Goose girl. So the pair of mustache cup, the pair of cups, the one for the mustache and one for the non, is $13. So $13 for the pair of pink and gold pieces, mugs, $13, number 27. $13.27 for the 2 pieces mustache mug and non-mustache mug. All right. I also have a lot of pottery that goes into my sale. And this is a piece that, again, this was tagged for the booth that I shut down, and I just hadn't had a chance to retag it for the new one. So I'm passing it off here at a discounted price. It is a pale cream colored pottery. The outside does have a little bit of a glaze, basically a white glaze, off-white glaze. You can see there's a little bit of a sheen to it. And then the florals decorated on the front. The inside is glazed as well. So this is designed as basically a wall planter, wall pocket, but it's really a bowl. So it does sit flat as well. But it is fully glazed, so it can be used as an actual planter because it would not be porous for the liquid. So you've got a piece. It does have an etched signature, so it's a studio pottery piece. I couldn't make it out. I don't think it necessarily is anything important. It's just a cute piece. I originally had it marked at $9. I'm now selling it for $6. So it's a $6 pottery wall pocket planter, $6, and you can have that by giving me number 40. $6, number 40 for the wall pottery pot. Let's see, in 27, let me go back up in the chat. 27 went to Jenny X. So the mustache cup and the mate went to Jenny X. So thank you, Jenny, for picking those up. All right. Next item is an item that I've had some items in the past that I included. They were items that came out of a box that I was using to hold old props for theater. If anybody's looked at any of my old channels or looked at some of my old videos, I got into the resale business about a year ago, and it was primarily because of theater. I was doing community theater, primarily acting, but I also was doing set design and prop design. And I was developing this entirely huge collection of all these items that I didn't need for other shows, so I needed to start selling them. I've been off and on selling the items primarily online, but I've now started including some of them into my live sales. And this is one of them. This is a scent bottle that last graced the stage of She Loves Me, which is the musical version of You've Got Mail, which is the movie version of Shop Around the Corner, which is the original movie version of Perfumery, which is the play. So there's a very long history to, but She Loves Me is the musical version. I did this, I was actually in the show, and I also did the set design for it. And this was a scent bottle, which was on the stage of the perfume shop, because that's what She Loves Me is set in a perfume shop. I played the role of Kadai. So if anybody knows the show, I got to play the jerk, which was lots of fun. But anyway, it is a porcelain scent bottle. You see it has a very light blue ribbon design. Those little white dots on there are moriage. You can see some of them, it's not as uniform. So some of them have kind of been rubbed off over the years, because this is probably, I would say 50s/60s would have been when this was made. There is no mark on it. I do believe it is a produced piece. I don't think this was a DIY. It is porcelain. It has the gold tip on the cover. I've taped that on. But it's in perfect shape, other than you can see, as I look really close, you can see where there would have been a uniformity to those little white dots. Some of them have rubbed off because they are raised. So anyway, it's a cool little piece, totally functional if you wanted to use it for another scent bottle, or just, you know, something to decorate, whatever. Blue and white with the pink floral. It's only $6. So $6 for the little scent bottle that I used on the stage of She Loves Me. It is number 64. $6, number 64 for the scent bottle. And it looks like number 40, the pottery, the wall pocket pottery, went to For Sandy's Lilacs. So thank you, Sandy, for picking that up. And it looks like number 64 is going to Stacy Brinkley. So thank you, Stacy, for picking up the She Loves Me scent bottle. I love selling. It's kind of one of those bittersweet things. I love selling the props from the shows, but I love the shows so much. I wish I could just keep all of them because I had fun getting them. I had fun using them, and it's kind of fun still having them. But at some point, I'm running out of storage. So some of these things, they just have to go. So I'm glad that that is going to go to a good home. Next item, I also had on my Instagram. This is a little, kind of like a little diminutive creamer and sugar set from Wade. So some people are familiar with Wade Whimsies. Wade is a pottery maker in England. They did more than just the little figurines, but I sell the figurines quite often, including tonight. There'll be some figurines coming up later. But this is the Wade made in England, hand painted. It is a cream, like almost more like a tan. I mean, it's not off-white. I'd say it's like a tan background with the gold trim, and then the hand painted florals, 2 on one side, 1 on the other. So they're decorated on both sides. So depending on how you're using this, even if it's just for, a little vignette on your table, you're decorated on both sides so you can see it, with a 360 design. The lid is in great condition. The lid is also gold trimmed. Where the lid sets is in great condition. I remember, and I was trying to find it because when I tagged it on Instagram, I follow a lot of resellers. Somebody else just had this, and they were talking about how great it was because it was so rare, and they sold it for so much money. Not so much money, but they sold it for a decent amount of money. And I'm like, okay, I'm not selling mine for anywhere near that. And that's the benefit when you're not online. You're in one of these sales. I want everyone to have a good deal. I want to make money too, but I'm going to sell these for $10. So it's a cool little set. The creamer and the sugar. It's $10 for the pair, and $10, and you get that by giving me number 7. $10, number 7 for the Wade creamer and sugar with the kind of the burgundy, dark red floral with the yellow centers. All right. This piece I picked up, and I tried to do some Google Lens. I tried to do some research online, and I'm hoping some hive mind will come together because I have an idea of what this is, but I'm not 100% sure. So number 7, the Wade creamer and sugar, goes to Maria at Empty Nesting 2. So thank you, Maria, for picking that up. So this, to me, it kind of has the look of those Swedish horses designs from like the 70s. It is a high gloss glaze, some modern swirly designs going into the back. It is not marked or stamped in any way, but what it has is a hole in his rear end, and then like this little saddle seat. And to me, I want to say this is an ashtray. I'm thinking that this section here would have held a box of matches. The thing that makes me question it is there's nothing on here that's rough. And usually if you have something that would hold the matches, like old-fashioned matches needed something to strike them. Well, I guess modern ones do too. You need something to strike them against. So usually you would have something that would hold the matches. There'd be a place to rub it to ignite the match. This has no rough edges. So, okay, so Stacy is saying it is a lighter holder. So would the lighter holder have been in the tail end, or the lighter would have sat here on the seat? Because the seat is very squared off. Like, it seems like it is designed to hold something. I just couldn't figure out. So Sandy is saying cigar holder and matches. Maybe the cigarellos, because if you hold this, this is not very wide. So, and it also, and this may have some merit, it's hollow all the way back. So it's not like there's just a clean place. Like if you were to this would hold like a lot of ashes. So I'm thinking because it's so loose formed. It is not, that's a good question, Aaron. It's not, I would not say it's considered rough under the feet. It's just not glazed. So it is the raw pottery, the ceramic, but I don't even think, it might be rough enough to strike it, but I think that would make it awful awkward, because if you had ashes in here and you picked it up, you could dump the ashes out. Hey, Barb. So anyway, I don't think anyone's going to use this as an ashtray. I mean, you might, but I think this could be used as a toothpick holder. You can put a little air plant in, hold his rear end, and you don't have to put anything in here. It's just one of those things. I like to do the research to figure out what it is. I just thought he was cool. I think he's very cool looking. I love the colors of him. I love that little design. He's designed the same on both sides. I love him, and he's $5. So he's only $5 for whatever he is. He's a great air plant holder or just something cool to hold your toothpicks. $5, and it is number 49. $5, number 49 for the what I believe is the Scandinavian designed horse ashtray. All right. We will go from the questionable ashtray to the guaranteed ashtray. Because this is actually a lot that I never took to the booth. This was something that was scheduled to go onto Etsy. And for anybody who sells online, you just know that Etsy requires, and eBay, anything online requires a lot of photography, measurements, all the things that need to be done. And I was being lazy, so these have not been photographed yet. The Scandi ashtray horse goes to Melody. So thank you, Melody, for picking that up. These are, so I kind of created a little lot, and one of them is a coaster. So if you're new to my channel, just get used to it. I have coasters all the flippin' time. People make fun of me for it, but you will always find coasters in my sale in some shape or form. So this one is a Neuschwanstein, Germany coaster. It is not marked. It had once upon a time like an old price tag on it. It's a tourist piece. Sometimes tourist pieces are made from high-end porcelain. This is porcelain. It just doesn't happen to be marked. So you've got a porcelain ashtray, and Neuschwanstein is the castle that was the inspiration for the Disney World castle. Cinderella's castle in Disney World is modeled off of Neuschwanstein. So it's Mad Ludwig's castle up in the mountains. Everyone's seen pictures of it. So we got that. You then also have the lesser known Schloss Linderhof, which was King Ludwig built that castle for himself. Well, he had to live someplace before that, and Schloss Linderhof was his parents' castle. So I also have, this was more of a tourist plate souvenir piece. It's not a saucer, I don't think, because this is really wide to be, a saucer receptacle. It is simply a souvenir piece for Schloss Linderhof. Huckster Helper and I have visited both of these. We've been both to Neuschwanstein and to Linderhof. And it's got that gold accented design. So I'm thinking this is probably from the 60s. This one is actually marked. It's a Hunschenreiter, German Bavarian porcelain. So it's a high-end porcelain. So you've got that. And then, as I said, we had the questionable ashtray and now the non-questionable ashtray. You got another Schloss Linderhof. Schloss is just German for castle. Ashtray. So this is a more of a traditional ashtray. This does have a mark on it. It just is Bavaria. So I don't recognize the crown mark. So it's just it's German porcelain, Bavarian porcelain. Again, based on the gilding, we're probably talking 50s to 60s. They're all just cool touristy pieces. They're just fun. You know that this house is chock full of love for both Germany and Austria. This was actually on display in my curio cabinet for some time, and I replaced it with other pieces. So I'm turning it into a 3-piece lot. You get the Neuschwanstein coaster, plus the Neuschwanstein or the Linderhof decorative plate, and the Linderhof ashtray. You get all 3 pieces of European porcelain for $9. So $9 for the 3 dishes, however you want to use them, ashtrays or not. $9, and you can get them by giving me number 3. $9, number 3, for the 3 pieces of German porcelain. All right. Next item is one when I've actually had this one for quite some time. And again, I tried to sell it at my booth, the other booth that I closed down, and it never made it to the new location. It is a chromex chrome mid-century modern tray. It is a tidbit tray. It has the handle on it in the center, so it's not a multi-tiered one. It just has the single one. It is actually by design, it's separated, so you kind of got this cool, angular design going on that. It looks like the German porcelain went to Reclaimed Treasures by Mary. So thank you, Mary, for picking those up. So this is a chromex tray. I did have it in my booth previously for $15. It didn't sell at the other booth, really, because nothing sold at the other booth, but that's another story. I just never got this on display at the new one. So instead of selling for $15, I'm selling it for $9. So this is a chromex tidbit tray. The handle does come off. So depending on what all you buy from me, I can actually disassemble this so that it'll ship flat. So I can ship it in a smaller box. So keep that in mind. This will not be expensive to ship, even though it looks big. I can work around that. So it was originally $15. It is now $9. So $9 for the chromex, and there is the chromex label is still there. So this is not a chromex wannabe. It's a legit chromex. Chromex chrome tidbit tray, $9 for number 79. $9, number 79 for the chromex tidbit tray. All right, another piece that I had in that booth was a piece of, there's a lot of debate on what this should be called, usually black amethyst glass. This is a case where I'll try and shine light through it, but I don't think we're not gonna be able to see anything. Well, you see, there is a little bit of a red coming through where it should be. I blind you all. You can see as it's coming through, it is translucent, but if you just hold it up, it looks black to me. But if you put a really strong light behind it, you can actually tell there is a red base to this. It is a petit four tray. It's a little bit too small to be a cake plate, but it is handled, so it is designed to be a serving piece. It's got a great shape to it. It's not circular. You've got this little indentation, so it's kind of like hexagon in shape with the 2 little handles. I had it in the booth for $8. I'm selling it here for $4. So $4 for the black amethyst petit four plate, $4 by giving me number 10. $4, number 10 for the black amethyst. And it looks like, so number 79, the chromex went to Blue Flamingo Mercantile. So thank you, Lori, for picking up the chromex tray. All right. And it looks like number 10, the black amethyst, went to Maria at Empty Nesting. So thank you, Maria, for picking up another piece this evening. Okay. Great to have Nate as a helper in the chat, but I don't have a helper to move stuff away from me, so I'm trying to find my little pieces here. Okay, we got a flashback, at least for me, flashback to my first apartment. We're back into the early 90s, and that means Hunt Club. So pull out your MAME musical references. You've got the hunt. We're going to the hunt. So we've got the dog, the hunting dogs. We've got the men in their hunting kit, horses, and then it's decorated all the way around. This was an extremely popular, and you all admit it. You either had it or you knew somebody that did. It was a big thing in the 90s to have the equestrian look, English, old English look. It's still popular. I've sold pieces in my booth. This used to hold, if you remember last week, I had some matches. A couple weeks ago, I had some matches. This used to hold the matches. So this had been sitting in my booth. And once I brought the matches out, I didn't have anything to put in it. So this is now just going to be sold on its own. And yes, hunter green, or forest green. That's right, Aaron. Burgundy and forest green. If I flipped my well, look at one of my videos, I still have a burgundy wall and everyone tells me it's out of date. And I'm like, I like it because that was the color scheme when I first started building a house for myself. Those were the colors that were popular and I haven't quite broken them yet. So anyway, it is a paperboard box, cardboard, whatever it is. It is Stanley. I don't know the meaning behind Stanley. I want to say they make furniture, or the Stanley steamer. But anyway, so it's a Stanley box. It's a paperboard box in really good shape. It's a fabric. It's like a fabric wrapped box. So this is not a lithograph painted. This was, or printed. This is actually like fabric that has been cut. Now I do believe this was produced this way. This isn't like a homemade piece, but this is a fabric covered box. And it's only $4. So if you want a piece of the equestrian look back in your life, or you just need to store stuff, it's a great looking box, hexagonal in shape. It's just a cool looking box. $4, $4 for the horseman, number 55. $4, number 55 for the box. All right. These pieces, I believe, have had some level of appearance in the past. And I'm bringing them back here because they were in the booth. They were not tagged properly. So I now need to sell them. And yes, fabric boxes, definitely the 90s, Jenny. I'm just going to sell them here. So it is a Disney lot, kind of a mixed Disney lot. I have the Finding Nemo little golden book. I have the baby Mickey, Disney baby Mickey bath toy. It's like a rubber floaty bath toy. I have the lanyard for if you do like button collecting. I've got the big lanyard with all the major players on there: Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, and Pluto. And I've got a vintage set of children's cutlery, the fork and the spoon with the Disney characters on there. All four of these pieces, the way they were originally priced, were priced at $20. I'm selling the entire lot here. All four pieces are being sold tonight for $10. So $10 for the Disney lot. $10, number 32. $10.32 for the Disney lot. And it looks like Nettie swept in and picked up, number 55. So Nettie got the hunting box. So thank you, Nettie, for picking that up. All right, and it looks like we've got some takers on number 32, the mixed Disney lot. I'll let Nate determine who was the first person to get that one. Okay. While we wait for that, I'll bring up, this is actually one, so that went to Blue Flamingo Mercantile. So Lori's got the lightning fast internet tonight. So thank you, Lori, for picking up another piece. I hope you enjoy the Disney lot. All right. The next piece was one of these cases where I wanted to sell it in the booth, but I was concerned that it would be messed up. So sorry, it's gonna be loud, but we're gonna show this and you guys get to put in the chat what you think this is. So we've got this box. It has a handle on it. On the box itself, you have this piece that obviously comes apart. You have this little piece that is slid earlier. There we go. that slides back and forth and reveals a set of marbles. And yes, we've got a lot of people coming across saying it. It is a voting box. And it is the style of voting box that is referenced. Everyone hears of somebody being blackballed. There's your black ball. So the idea behind this would be you would have all of the, well, I want to show you some of the marbles that are in this because, yeah, it's really a voting box for membership. Beth has it. It's really more the idea behind like a member, like a, you can blackball somebody by saying, well, you don't want them to join or you don't want them to win. So you can use it for multiple purposes, but you would have all of the marbles sitting on one side, white ones and black ones. You would go through, you would pick that up, you'd put it in that little hole in the middle of the slot to go into the other side. And then when they win it back, they pull it open. It was all white. The person was voted in. If there was even one black marble, that person was blackballed. You didn't know who did the blackball. Yeah, so it's totally anonymous. You suddenly would see, okay, you got one or you got 25. Like maybe everyone blackballed you, but you would be able to look at it. And so what this is, I do think there's some age to this. One, because it's not that common anymore. But the way some of these marbles, which I'm assuming are included or were original to it, they are handmade pottery and glass. So you've got some of the black ones are almost like a blue with a gray, graining going to them. There's a couple of white ones that may not be original, but you see they have stripes. They're like little miniature billiard balls. So you've got the white on there. This one I thought I pulled out because I thought it was interesting because it has that coloration to it, but you can also see it was like, I'm not sure if it was formed and then they broke it off of its base. So yeah, so I do think there, at least some of them are glass because included in the box when I bought it, there was one that was broken. So we had a white one that was broken, and when you open it up, it is glass. So I'm going to include the broken one in there because it is kind of cool. But it is a voting box. So the thing does not slide super easily, but I'm going to include all the marbles that come with it. You can see some of them are blue, some of them are black, and some of them are white. I chose not to discuss blue balls. I'm just going to leave that there. Because I don't know which ones of these are original to the voting box, but the box itself is a voting box. And that's the idea behind the being blacklisted or blackballed, is somebody could anonymously, you just go in, you'd say, okay, well, what color do I want to vote? And you would palm the choice that you had, and then you drop it in the other side of the box. No one knows whether you picked up a white one or a black one, and suddenly you just voted. So it's a cool piece. I got a good price on it. And they go all over the place. I mean, these things sell for hundreds of dollars for the really ornate ones. It was difficult to really know the best way to sell this one. But I got a good price on it. I don't want to put it in the booth because these marbles will disappear. So I'm going to sell it to you here, and I'm hoping I'm going to give you guys a good price. You're getting it for $25. So $25 for the voting box with all the marbles, $25, and it's number 18. So $25, number 18 gets you the voting box. All right. I think I'm caught up, but I'm looking at the chat really quick just to make sure I announced everybody. So yeah, it looks like I'm caught up on that. All right. Next item. I mentioned earlier about mystery boxes. Doing the mystery box a little bit differently this time because, just because. Partly because I did a bunch of mystery boxes last week, which was basically my process of changing out my booth for Christmas. I did 6 mystery boxes that are all Christmas themed, and I really felt that I'd probably be done. Then I actually changed out my booth this week, and I have another mystery box. So what you get to see on this one is the biggest piece of the mystery box is the fruitcake tin. So the fruitcake tin initially had been in my booth for $15 by itself, We then had to retag everything. This has been going on for several weeks. So I did retag this, but it hadn't sold at 15. So I marked it down to 10. And then it wasn't selling at 10. And it was just taking up space. And then anytime I used it as a riser, no one knew what it was. So I'm bringing it out of the booth and filling it with stuff. So we have another Christmas themed. Everything in here is Christmas themed. You get the fruitcake tin. And yes, Tia Fane, that's a big fruitcake. Hope you're not talking about me. Hope you're talking about the tin. But it is a very decent size. And there's actually a piece in here. I'll see if I can pull it out without letting you all see what's in the box. Because this comes with it. The reason I know it is a fruitcake container is because it had this that came with it. This beautiful Nabisco fruitcake container has many uses. So you've got the suggestion of using it as a beverage cooler, etc. It is a decent size. To be perfectly honest, in my entire life, I don't believe I've ever received a fruitcake. So I don't know how big they're supposed to be. But this one is, well, the container. The container is 10 and 3/4 inches across, but the space inside would be about, it's like almost exactly 10. So if you had like a 9-inch cheesecake or a 9-inch fruitcake or whatever, you would be able to put it in this container. I'd say it's probably from the 60s, most likely 70s, because it has that wood grain, but it's metal. So it's printed directly on the metal. It's not a paper. It's got the gold line trim. And like I said, this once sold in my booth for 15, but it didn't sell. And so I'm now selling it as a mystery box that contained the holder of all of the other mystery items for $15. And what I will just say is that the items that are in here all originally retailed in my booth for it. I think it ended up being just over $30. So you're basically getting all my Christmas stuff at half price. So $15 for the fruitcake tin by giving me number 26. $15, number 26 for the fruitcake tin. And let's see. So it looks like number 18, the lottery black ball, went to Dawn Schockweiler. So congratulations, Dawn, for picking that up. You could have see if your dachshunds want to vote each other off the island. You could just have all kinds of fun with that one. All right. So then the mystery box, number 26, the Christmas mystery box is going to Melody. So I don't even think you got your last Christmas mystery box. So because I think yours is one of the ones that's taking forever just to get from Chicago to Pennsylvania. So but you'll have something else to look forward to. So thank you, Melody, for picking up number 26, the mystery box. All right, next item. This again this actually was in my booth, but I actually had rescued it early on because what I was discovered is they never ended up getting stolen, but they were being taken out, and I was finding them loose in my booth. So I'm like, yep, we're putting an end to that. So this was a Curity automobile first aid kit. It's in pretty rough condition. You know, we're talking like legit vintage here. This puppy's seen some life. It's from the Kendall Company, the Bauer and Black division. I did not research who the Kendall Company is, but it does have that on the bottom. It's got the green rusted all around. And when you open it up, it still has most of its containers. Now, I cannot tell you whether these are all original, but what's in here definitely has some age. We've got a tourniquet, which I've sold this current tourniquet individually before. This is actually in better shape. And I think the one I sold was $5 and the box was falling apart. So you've got the tourniquet. You have the Curity gauze bandage box. So you've got the box itself is missing, the lid to it, and it looks like it had gotten wet at some point. Some of the red bled. You've got an unboxed piece of gauze. You have some ointments, the Burn Allay medicated cream for burns, also from Curity. Yeah, from Curity. Bandage plastic strips, so Band-Aid plastic strips. Another tiny little thing, some sort of an ointment. See if you guys can read it, because I can't read it. Something acid. Oh, boric acid. Oh, just what everyone needs. Oh, that should be fun shipping through the mail. This looks a little more modern, although there's no UPC barcode on it, so there must be some age to it. But this doesn't look as old as the other pieces. And then something in a little wax wrapper. Cover eye with pad. Oh, it's like an eye patch. So you've got all of those pieces. They're all in this little box. Again, the box is fairly rough. It does have a hinged lid. One of the hinges is bent back. So it's for the coolness factor. If you've got an industrial design in your place, I'm never going to put all these pieces back in here, but I will eventually. It is the automotive first aid kit from Curity, selling the whole thing for $15. So $15 for the Curity automobile first aid kit, $15 by giving me number 56. $15, number 56 for the box and all of its contents. Yeah, sterile probably once upon a time, but I think it's a vintage sterile. So we're gonna have a little bit. You might be killing somebody if you try and use this for any sort of level of first aid. All right. Next one is an item that initially I planned on putting these in the booth. And then again, as we get into some of the ephemera, I get concerned about whether things are going to get torn. They're going to, if they get handled too much. I don't trust the American public. Let's just put it that way. So these ended up just kind of staying in my collection. I didn't know what to do with it. So number 56 went to Celeste in SATX. So I think she changed. I think that's a different name. I've sold to Celeste before, but I want to say it was something different in San Antonio. So anyway, but thank you, Celeste, for picking that up. So what we have, enough rambling, what we have is actually sheet music. So what I've got are 10 pieces of sheet music. Originally, I planned on doing it individually. So we've got Good Night, My Love, Shirley Temple, Stowaway. We've got Meet Me in St. Louis, great Christmas flick with Judy Garland on the cover. If I Could Be With You, 1 Hour to Midnight. Admittedly, I don't know that one. A Lovely Way to Spend an Evening, as sung by Frank Sinatra. Another theater film, or theater, Falling in Love with Love from the Boys from Syracuse. Look for the Silver Lining from the Till the Clouds Roll By. Well, it's not from Till the Clouds Roll By. It was in Till the Clouds Roll By, which is for free on Netflix, by the way, or no, Amazon Prime. The Way You Look Tonight. We all know that one. Another Jerome Kern. This is from Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers in Swing Time. Journey to a Star from The Gang's All Here. Together Since You Went Away. And Stormy Weather, sung by Lena Horne. So we've got all of these. You've got, some ads on the back. Vaughn Monroe sings a tremendous value for 50 cents. Bonus Cover Girl is on the back of that one. So anyway, these were all going to be sold individually. I think a couple of them are probably worth decent money. I just don't have the time or the patience to deal with them. So I'm selling all of them for $5. So you get some sheet music. Some you may like more than others, but you get the entire batch for only $5. So $5 for all of those sheet music, $5 by giving me number 23. $5, number 23 for the sets of sheet music. All right. We also have another mystery box. This is not a themed mystery box. This is literally, as I'm going through, what do I want to do with some of these items? I started putting together another mystery box, basically what would fit into a box. So I am doing a random themed mystery box, again, for $15. The value, again, for all of these would be at least 20 to 25. I think in this case, it's like 25 to 30. But that's how I typically do my mystery boxes. Some might be priced. Some are just scheduled to be priced. So it's a random, no theme, just have some fun mystery box. It's $15, and you get that mystery box for number 67. So an unthemed mystery box for $15 by giving me number 67. And I think, yeah, so number 23, the set of sheet music went to Catherine Young. And I apologize, Catherine, I can't remember if you've bought from me before. So if you have, thanks for buying again. And I probably have your information, but just in case, it may have been a while since you bought from me. So if you could send me an email, just make sure I have your information. I will get you the invoice, and thank you for picking that piece up. All right. Next, get these things out of my way. All right, so it looks like, well, I gotta wait for Kate to tell me. All right, or for Nate to tell me who got that one. Oh, Nate is leaving, so Nate is calling for a backup, asking for help. So let me see. So on my chat, it looks like number 67, Angela Marksberry. Oh, that's too funny, because Angela lives very clear to me, and I was joking with her. She said her husband did not want her buying any more mystery boxes. I'm like, but if you buy from me, you don't have to pay for shipping. And she did. So thank you, Angela, for picking up a shipping cost-free mystery box. All right. Thanks, Nate, for helping me out. All right. Thanks. And thanks, Katie, for stepping in. So the next item is, if you watch George's sale, I picked this item specifically because, not George's sale, one of George's premiere. Did Katie leave? Barb just offered to help, and I'm happy to take Barb's help. Katie had offered initially, but looks like maybe Katie's no longer in the chat. So yeah, Barb, if you want to follow, if you can help me, that'd be fantastic. Just type in who you see as the first person in the chat. So no longer does your internet have to make it all the way to New Zealand for Nate to catch you first. Now you just have to make it to Southern Illinois. So Barb from Winking Owl Antiques will be the new moderator. So what she says goes. Don't give her any grief. So yeah, if you just put into the chat who's the first person, I would appreciate it. I didn't realize Nate had to leave, but thanks, Barb. Anyway, so George just did one of his premieres. George, the Antique Nomad, does premieres on both Mondays and Wednesdays. And again, a premiere is different from a live show. He records it, so it's a recorded item or a recorded video, but then he joins it as it runs for the first time. So he sets it for a time, and then you can chat with him during it. So he was talking about Abington pottery, which is something that Barb and Jeffrey from Real Nifty Vintage, and I are a little bit more familiar with because it is an Illinois potter. Hager is far more popular because it was around longer. Hager bought most of the molds from Abington when they got out of doing figurative pottery. And I had a bunch of Abington pieces. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to grab a piece of Abington. I'm going to have it in my sale. So I pulled it, set it aside, got ready to tag it all, started tagging. Here's the item I was going to have. It's not Abington. It is Alamo. It is the only piece of Alamo pottery I've ever had. So for the San Antonians here, it is Alamo pottery, upside down. It is made in San Antonio, Texas. You can see it down there. It's vitreous china. It is the same type of pottery as Abington. It's fairly heavy because in the case of Abington, they started making pottery, as George covers in the premiere. I actually have a book on Abington, though. They started making bathroom fixtures, so sinks and toilets, and like the 30s and 40s, 20s, 30s and 40s, like the heavy duty, sinks. So it's very heavy pottery. And this just has a very cool waterfall effect, kind of at an angle. I'm not as familiar with Alamo, but it does have the same look. I sold this alongside of my other pieces of Abington. This one just happens to be Alamo. So this one had been in my booth for $9. That's actually a good price to already begin with, but I'm still giving you a little bit of a discount on it because I don't have to pay commission when I sell it here. So we've got the Alamo pottery, and I'll try and pull a piece of Abington for another sale, but an Alamo piece of pottery, it's a little planter with that scalloped waterfall effect, is $8. So $8 for the Alamo pottery piece from San Antonio, Texas, by giving me number two, $8 for the Alamo pottery. Yeah, Teophane, it is. It's well-made pottery. It stands up really well too because it is kind of heavy. But it's just, there's some really pretty glazes. And again, a lot of pieces that Hager made popular, you'll find them marked Abington because Abington's the one that made the molds. So that's just one of those fun little things. I haven't quite mastered that yet, but there's been many pieces that you look at, you're like, oh, that's Hager. And then you flip it over. Oh, wow, it's Abingdon, because it's that same style. So anyway, so I will hopefully have Abingdon. We are doing Alamo here. And number 2, it's heading back to San Antonio. So Celeste from San Antonio, Texas is picking up the Alamo pottery. And remember, the Alamo as it goes straight back to Celeste. All right, next item is, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen these posted. I've never had a salt and peppy pair before, and so I have my first. What I don't know, and you guys probably are far more familiar with the salt and peppy pair, I could not figure out how to make his hat say peppy on the front. No matter how I turned him on, however I rotated it, it didn't want to. Peppy always ended up in the back. So I'm not sure. I think Peppy is supposed to be the dark-haired one, and the salt is the white one, and the salt does not have the name on it at all. So I'm not sure these are necessarily the best examples of salt and peppy, but I was so excited to find them. I picked them up, and I'm selling them here for $5. So $5 for the salt and peppy pair, $5, and give me number 12. Number 12, $5 for the salt and peppy pair. Salty, thank you. Salty and peppy. All right. Another piece of pottery. This is another piece of studio pottery. So this is less trackable. I just really like the shape of this one. It looks like number 12 did get sold. And I'll see what Barb says who got it. So the next piece is a weed pot, or a weed vase. It's one of those extremely small centers for a very long stemmed, individual piece. So somebody told me it could be an incense burner because it has this lip around it. So you'd have those long pieces of incense. I don't know if that's true, because then usually they're at an angle, because then when they fall off, there's something like a long tray for it to fall into. But I don't burn incense like that, so I don't know. So it either is just for a single individual, again, a weed or a reed coming out of that, or it is an incense burner. It is signed, but not by any name that I could figure out. Kind of looks like McLean, but I couldn't, then I don't know what the JIV is at the end. It's just a cool looking piece. And since there doesn't seem to be anything special about it, other than it looks kind of cool, is $6. So yeah, and I probably, maybe I shouldn't be using the word weed and pot in the same sentence, but that's what I've heard that they were called. So $6 for the small necked vase, $6 by giving me number 93. And number 12, the salty and peppy went to Celeste in San Antonio. All right. This piece I kept debating. It needed to go onto Etsy. Hasn't been listed yet. It is a piece that I had a jewelry sale months ago, and it was one of the pieces that didn't sell in the jewelry sale. This is a vintage Park Lane necklace. You can see the little badge hanging down there, Park Lane, from the 60s. It's in perfect condition. You've got the bars and the chain, the twisted chain, rope chain going up each side, designed all the way to the top. So it's 100% around, and a fairly strong design in the clasp, and the clasp was still in really good condition. So you've got the Park Lane vintage necklace is $6. Park Lane necklace, $6. By giving me number 39. $6.39 for the Park Lane necklace. All right. Now I'm going to really mess with Barb's head. I'm going to distract her because I only have one piece of restaurant wear in the sale tonight, and this is it. This is a Syracuse China piece of restaurant wear. It has the 10 MM date stamp on it, so it's from October of 1958. So you've got a 1950s design. I couldn't figure out what the pattern was. Maybe Barb knows. So 39, the Park Lane necklace goes to Nettie. So thank you, Nettie, for picking up the necklace. To me, those look like the contemporary symbols of like the Jesus fish. So that's I now that I see the fish, I can't not see them. So I don't know if they're supposed to be something else, because then there's kind of the tree branch in the back. Yeah, Auntie Christy, you're right. I mean, to me, it looks like the Christian fish. But did the Christian fish symbol exist in the 50s? I thought that was far more modern than that, but I don't know. So anyway, you can kind of tell in the colors. One of them is like a really dark red, and then the other one is a true black. And then the branch that's in the background is a black. So you've got some really bold colors against it's really more of a, it'd be considered white, but it's a very creamy white. It's oval in shape, Syracuse date stamp, October 1958, and it's $6. So $6 for the Syracuse Christian fish plate. If we can't come up with anything else, $6, number 42. $6.42 for the Syracuse plate. And I think I said Nettie picked up the necklace number 39. If I didn't, you did. And it looks like we had no takers on this small vase. So that is fine. Fish for Christian is supposedly older than the cross. Oh, I did not know that. Okay. That, yes, and it was used in the 1st century for followers. I had no idea. When I see that, I think that's something from like the 70s or 80s. Maybe that's just, because it was put on a lot more things at that time. Thank you for sharing that. So number 42, the Christian fish restaurant wear piece went to Blue Flamingo. So thank you, Lori, for picking that up. Sorry if you were distracted, Barb, and couldn't find that for yourself. So, but that's a fun piece. All right. Next one. I've only got a few items left. Next item is a book. And it's not a particularly old book, but it's, again, I had some of these books in the booth, and what was happening was the pages were getting torn, and I was not happy about it. So I rescued all the books and decided not to worry about rematching them. But this is a shaken, not stirred, a boozy quiz. So we are going to do a couple of the questions here. Match the beer with the slogan. Number 1, it's what your right arm's for. Okay, I've never even heard of that beer. So, okay. Good things come to those who wait. The beer the men drink. And the champagne of beers. So we'll just do the first 4. It's what your right arm's for, which, again, I've never heard of. Good things come to those who wait. That one I've actually heard, that phrase and the company. The beer that men drink, and then the champagne of beers, which I've heard the champagne of beers, but I would have gotten that one wrong. So yes, so Carrie and Melody know they're Miller. So Miller High Life is the champagne of beers. Okay, so Michelle from Comfy Cozy Living is giving us an update. She spoke to the Kelly's daughter, and she'll be doing a video after the sale that hopefully will give additional information from when I spoke to the daughter last night. That's Kelly from Found Again. For people who joined late, she's in the hospital. She had an aneurysm, and she's been moved out of intensive care, though. So it looks like Michelle has some additional information. So anyway, it's what your right arm's for is courage. I didn't see anybody share that one. So courage was it's what your right arm's for. Good things come to those who wait was Guinness. The beer that men drink is Double Diamond, and the champagne of beers was Miller High Life. So that is just one page. There's one called Size Matters. Okay, we're going to leave that alone. Puzzling Pubs, Literary Tipples, Singular Malts. The book itself was originally published for Nordstrom's, but it was published in Great Britain because it has the pound symbol on the back. So it used to be 10 pounds. So we've got the shaken, not stirred, boozy quiz with some British references in it. You get it for $4. So $4 for the boozy quiz, $4 by giving me number 68. $4, number 68 for the boozy quiz. All right. Putting some of the things that didn't sell here on the backdrop. Again, if you're interested in a postcard of the month club for yourself or for a gift, $50 gets you a postcard every month. $25 gets you a postcard for 6 months, whether for yourself or for a gift. So there's $61 and $99. If you want to do it as a gift, just drop me an email of where you want it sent, so you don't have to say anything in the chat and blow your cover for picking picking up if you're trying to do a gift. I will send an email before Christmas for anyone who receives it as a gift, but I will not be sending the first postcards until January. So you've got time to do that. So number 68 goes to Halim Nassif. And thank you, Halim. That is Halim and Melody. And I will just not comment on how much alcohol stuff they buy from me. So enjoy the quiz and hope you guys enjoy it. Next, since related to alcohol, I've got a beer tankard. This was also in my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I'll usually the couple days before the sale, I'll actually share some photos of some of the items that I'm going to be selling. This is, again, an item I picked up to sell on Etsy. Just never made the photographs. Maybe I'll use the photographs I use for Instagram. Who knows? But for now, just trying to pass it on to you guys. It is, as you can see on the label, it is Austrian. Again, this household likes all things German and Austrian. It is from Goyako. I did not ask the Huckster helper how to pronounce that. So I don't know if little vintage me is still here. Ceramic. It's faience pottery. And it is, the label that's on there is their 50-year anniversary. So what I couldn't find out is when was Goyako actually founded. So I have no idea how old this mug is. I think this would be, just from its shape and style, probably more from the 60s. But that design is a very nouveau design, which would put it back in the teens. And I don't think it's that old. So it has an incised mark on the bottom, the GK with the Austria. It's an absolutely beautiful shape. It's in beautiful condition. And it's just, to me, it's got a very cool design. The handle even has a very cool design. If it doesn't sell here, it will go on to Etsy because that's where it was originally headed. I don't even think this, I don't want to deal with this in the booth because, again, I'm getting things in my booth that are getting damaged. And so for something like this, I don't want to see any damage come to it. So I'm selling it selling it here for $14. If it goes on to Etsy, it'll be going for more. So $14 for the Goyako pottery, faience pottery, $14 by giving me number 47. $14.47 for the faience. Some glass. People know Pilgrim glass. We got some cranberry Pilgrim. This is a Pilgrim cranberry glass handmade with gold in the USA. So we have a very traditional style, probably from the 80s, maybe 90s. It is a pink color. And I'd say it's probably coming through fairly accurately. It's not a really light pink. It's kind of like it's a cranberry pink. It's a beautiful color. It's got the ribbing on there. It's smooth to the texture, but you can see the way it was made. It's kind of got that panel design in there. Simple fluted vase. It was $9 in my booth, and I'm keeping it at $9 because that's what it's worth, far more than that. So $9 for the Pilgrim vase, Pilgrim glass vase, and still you can see there actually has Pilgrim cranberry glass right on there. $9, and you can get that by giving me number 31. And number 47, the Austrian tankard, went to Victoria H. So thanks, Victoria, for picking that up. All right. Next piece is a small piece that I picked up from Otagiri. It's a little Otagiri. I wouldn't say it's a coaster because it does the way it's recessed. It's not really the shape for a coaster, but you've got a square dish that I would just say at this point it's a trinket dish. It has the original Otagiri Japan foil label on the back, OMC. We've had debates about that. That is the Otagiri label. You can see there's the bamboo plant with the birds on it. It has some crazing to it. So I want to point that out because some people like that. Some people don't. But you can see there's just a couple areas where the crazing has darkened a little bit. So it's proving it's legit vintage. It's not like a fake crazing. So you've got this little dish, just simple, small little pin dish. So it's a simple and small price, $4. So $4 for the little Otagiri bird dish by giving me number 61. $4.61 for the little Otagiri dish. And it looks like 31, the Pilgrim glass, went to Cheryl Hoskins. And I see that, Cheryl, you also asked the question for how tall it is. So hopefully this doesn't change your answer. But it was 6.5 inches tall. So that is the Pilgrim glass, is 6.5 inches tall. All right. It was $9. Yes, number 31, $9 for the Pilgrim Glass, which went to Cheryl Hoskins. It looks like number 61 is the little Otagiri dish. The $4 dish is going to Karen Dondelinger. So thank you, Karen, for picking that up. All right. I mentioned earlier, I'm not left-handed. Why do I put these things on the left-hand side? The next item I mentioned, I had Wade Whimsies. Here are my Wade Whimsies. This is actually one of my favorite Wade Whimsies, and it had actually been on display in my home until Christmas. And I decided, you know what? I do not need another flippin' collection, so I am passing these on. So we've got the parrot, and you've got kind of a pissed off parrot, which is why I absolutely love him. The color's not coming off like super good. It's really like a sage green color. Let me see. I did this and I never pull them out. So this is a green crayon. So this is what green looks like compared to him. This is what yellow looks like compared to him. So you can kind of see he's kind of like a sagey green color, not gray. You got the parrot. He was on display. The little brown bunny, which I just thought was adorable. It's a little brown bunny. He's on display. He had been on display, so he's for sale. And then I pulled the little blue rhinoceros. So I pulled 3 different colors. So I've got the green, the brown, and the blue. So these pieces, again, some of my favorites, selling the 3 of them as a set for $9. So $9 for the 3 Wade Whimsies, $9 by giving me number 13. $9. Oh, is he a cockatiel? Oh, yeah, you're probably right, because he's got the mohawk. Okay, well, he's still cool. I thought he was a parrot. I think cockatiel's like a type of parrot, isn't he? So $9 for the parrot, or a cockatiel / parrot, the rhino, and the bunny rabbit. All right. Next one, this is an item that I sold what was supposed to be the mates to it earlier in an earlier sale. And what had happened was I picked these up at multiple times and discovered that they didn't match. So this is the porcelain handled pie server. What I like about this one is it's still in the original box that was probably given as a gift at a wedding. And the person who got it wrote on the box, sent thank you. So, they were keeping track of who they sold to. So it is a porcelain handled. The porcelain in this is green. I had some little knives and spreaders that I sold separately that had this exact same style, but instead of having a green base, it had blue. So I sold those together as a pair because those matched. This one I kept separate, and I'm selling this on its own. So it is a pie server with the metal design, absolutely perfect condition. The porcelain is in absolutely perfect condition. No chips, no cracks. It's in its original box. You can see there's definitely been some sun fading. I don't know how this thing was being stored, but you can tell that this is the box because it leaves the exact same shape as in the fade mark. And you get the pie server for $5. $5 for the porcelain handled pie server by giving me number 52. $5, number 52 for the porcelain pie server. And I know we had some takers for number 13. That went to Blue Flamingo Mercantile. So thank you, Lori, for picking up the Wade. Those were the Wade Whimsies, number 13. And then the pie servers, number 52, $5 for the porcelain handled pie server, which looks like is going to Karen Dondelinger. All right. Can't remember who I sold the servers to. I don't think I sold them to Karen. So I think they will remain separate. Only 2 items left, and then the bargain bin comes out. If you have not done the bargain bin, seen the bargain bin before, everything in the bargain bin is $2. And got probably about 10, 12 items in there. We'll go through those pretty quickly so we can finish before the top of the hour. And for those of you in the chat that know, please remind me, I don't think this Overstuffed House is having a sale tonight because she had a sale last night. Or maybe she is having a sale tonight, but it was going to be a smaller one. So she has started doing her sales after mine, usually at 11 p.m. Eastern. We did long before that, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, this is basically a style of Reiku pottery, but it's got the crack, the artificial cracking that you would create at the time of firing the piece. What's great about this little vase is it's glazed on the inside, which is absolutely beautiful. It has the artist's initials on the bottom, but it also has a pottery lid with a formed like a shell or wave design in the top of it. It's just a tiny little trinket dish. It's absolutely gorgeous. I had this at my old booth for 25 bucks. It didn't sell. As I was closing the booth, I started marking everything down. I marked it down to 15. If I put it back in my booth or onto Etsy, I'm going to go back up to 25 bucks. But for now, I'm keeping it at 15. So the little Reiku pottery piece, $15. You can get that by giving me number 22. $15, number 22 for the little Reiku pottery piece. All right, and the last item is another piece of glass. This is another one that went from my old booths going into my new booth. It is a very, and hopefully it's going to come across, it's a very, very dark green. So it looks like a smoky gray or almost a black. It is not. It is green. Let me see if I can get some light on here, if it does anything. Let's see, without blinding you, can I get this to show the color? Sort of. But you can see it's green. It is etched. So you've got this little laurel wreath design that's going all the way around the side with the dots and a little bit lower. You can see there's individual dots that are etched into it as well. It has a clear base and a green glass stem. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a simple bud vase. It is 8 inches tall. The Reiku pottery went to Nettie. So number 22, the piece of Reiku pottery, which is absolutely gorgeous, goes to Nettie, 15 bucks. I'm glad you picked that up. It's one of my favorite pieces. Would have kept it if I had the room. So anyway, so you've got, there's no marks, there's no labels left on this. It's just a simple dark green. Because of the etched pattern, I'm going to say it's probably 60s, maybe going into the 70s, but that kind of a laurel design then with those dots, you're looking at an older piece. So it is green glass vase. It is only $8. So $8 for the bud vase, unmarked bud vase, $8. That gives me number 72. $8, number 72 for the green bud vase. All right. So for the items that didn't sell, you can kind of see them off to the sides. The Old Men's Salt and Pepper Shaker, the green girl, green goose girl, and the small vase are left to purchase. And it looks like the green bud vase is also still available. Okay, so now we move into the bargain bin. So again, everything in the bargain bin is $2. Switch from your numbers to your alphabet because we're doing letters instead of numbers. Everything's $2, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each of these. Everything's still there, didn't break. Here we go. So this is again an item that I've pulled from the booth that was for my current booth. They had been labeled at $2 a piece, or I think this one was $2 and this one is $3. Selling them as a pair for $2 for the pair. So you get the Snowman large and small scale spatula, $2. Wait, I need to change my little sheet here because I need to write this down. $2 for the Snowman spatulas. $2 by giving me letter G. $2 letter G for the Snowman spatulas. All right. Try to make room for everything here. Okay. And did I miss anything, Barb? Did I miss anybody did anyone take the green glass bud vase? And that's fine if they didn't. I just want to make sure I didn't miss somebody. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Next item. This you would have seen on a previous sale. The packaging had been destroyed. I had broken one of them, so it was no longer a full set. I decided to break up the set, kept 2 of them for myself, and I am now selling them here. It is the the Santaland Christmas ornaments glass with the spider painted design with the faux pearl on one side and then just the painted design in the back. It is shaped like a bell and it sounds like a bell. So there's a little piece of like stone in there that has been put in there on purpose so that it sounds like a, so it sounds like it sounds like it's an actual bell. So it looks like Cheryl Ross is getting excited about the Reiku, that it's a Canadian artist. I could not find that signature. So that was if somebody did buy it, but if somebody was looking, that's cool. Pearl is a spider egg. What? I don't know what Melody's talking about. That's a problem with only partially paying attention to the chat. People start talking about things you don't know what you're doing. So this is a $2 blown glass ornament, Santa World. $2 and it's letter T. And I have 2 of them. So the first 2 people that want the red bell ornament for $2, particularly if you've already bought something, I can slide this in. It won't change the weight at all. $2 for the 2 red bell shaped ornaments that are letter T. And is somebody asking about the green glass vase was $8. It was number 72. All right, next. This one, just be aware if you pick this one up, this will change. If you buy anything else, this has liquid in it. It's an old Kroger pure lemon extract. If you don't want the liquid, I can pour it out. But you've got the old fashioned bottle with the old label on it. It is $2. So $2, but if I can't ship liquid priority mail. So just keep that in mind. If you're buying anything else, this will impact the way the rest of it is shipped. So 72, the green glass vase went to Jenny X, and that's great because since you already have something, Jenny, it won't really change your shipping cost all that much to have a couple more items. And it looks like letter T went to Catherine Young, who also picked up something before, and Nettie, who also picked up something before. So these will be added to your boxes with virtually no change to the weight, like really whatsoever. So thank you for picking up those 2. And then I don't think I gave the letter for the lemon extract. So the Kroger lemon extract is $2 for letter C. $2 letter C for the lemon extract. Next one I thought was fun. This was originally had a price tag of $6. It's not my price tag. I picked it up for less than that, obviously. It's a little Kool-Aid holder. It's plastic. It's a very hard plastic, but there's still some flexibility to it. It kind of looks like it might have been shipped flat. So maybe it was a premium for picking up Kool-Aid. I don't know, but you just folded it up and then it kind of tucks into the back. So depending on what else you buy, I might ship it like this, or I might unconnect it and ship it flat, whatever makes the most sense. So letter C, the lemon extract, went to Victoria H. So thank you for picking that up. So you get, there you go, Michelle. Oh yeah, we got the Kool-Aid man. We got the Kool-Aid little packet holder. So you've got a place to hang it in your pantry or put it on prime display in your kitchen because it's only $2. So $2 for the Kool-Aid holder, $2, letter R. Letter R, $2 for the Kool-Aid holder. Next item is a little vegetable bowl. Originally had this in the booth at $6, marked it down to $3, and now selling it here for $2. It is part of the Salem China Goaty Prince design. It has the 2 probably mid 18th century or 19th century kind of like Civil War style dresses, in that pattern. Goaty Prince, it's actually British, from Salem, China. It's the open vegetable bowl, perfect condition. It's only $2, and it is letter F. $2 letter F for the Goaty Prince bowl. And it looks like letter R, the Kool-Aid, went to Catherine Young. All right, so I set timers for myself so I don't go too long because as you all can tell, I'm a talker. All right, next item. This is a little aluminum tray. Kensington had this also in my booth. Don't have the price tag on it anymore. I don't remember what I was selling it for, but I'm selling it now for $2. So it's just an aluminum tray. It's got kind of that cool etched pattern, the bar and the little feather design to it. It's got the Kensington brand in the back. It's an oval tray. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's got a lot of uses, whether you use it as a tray or backdrop for a vignette. And it's only $2. So $2 for the aluminum tray by giving me a letter P. $2 letter P for the aluminum tray. And the Godey Prince bowl letter F went to Melissa Lynn. Yes, I did try and say your name and decided to stop because I think I slaughter your name every time I say it. So I apologize. All right. Next item is another kitchen item. We've got the little, think back to your days of Pizza Hut growing up. You've got the little glass red pepper container. I had it in my booth for $5. Don't have space for it anymore, so I took it out and selling it here for $2. So $2 for the little red pepper flakes container. It doesn't have to be red pepper flakes, but that's what I remember. It's a Helco design. That name didn't mean anything to me, but it does have the information in molded into the bottom of the glass. So it is $2 for the little red pepper flakes, $2 by giving me letter E. $2 letter E for the red pepper flake shaker. All right, this, I think Nate had left. He might have appreciated this. For all of the Anglophiles out there, this is a Denby dinner plate. It's just a random dinner plate. I really like the looks of it. I love that pattern. I love that style. I love the color. It's got a really chocolate brown border all the way around with that yellow and brown tulip and leaf design in the middle. You could use this as a small charger. You can use this as an under tray. You can use this as a dresser tray. You can use it for a lot of different things because it's a very simple design, but it is from Denby, made in England. I was selling it in my old booth for $6. Didn't bring it over to the new booth, so I'm just going to sell it here for $2. So $2 for the Denby dinner plate with that pattern, with the tulip pattern. $2 by giving me letter O. $2 letter O for the Denby dinner plate. All right, so so letter E was the shape red pepper flakes. That went to Belinda Carroll. So thank you, Belinda, for picking that up. And O, the Denby plate, looks like it is going to Nettie. And it looks like we had somebody jump in that I don't recognize from being in earlier, is Harry Sinkleton. That was for the spatulas, letter G. Did those already go? I don't have anybody written for the spatulas. So did G already go to somebody else? So remind me, I apologize if I missed that. Or who should be getting letter G. But O, the Denby plate, went to Nettie. So apologize, sometimes I get lost in the chat. Okay, the next piece is worth way more than $2, but I'm putting it in here for $2 because I don't want to just give it to Goodwill, which is where I normally sent my damaged stuff. You can see the hand there has been re-glued. That is the only thing that's wrong with this piece. It is a Blanc de Chine Chinese figure. It is not marked on the bottom. It is all of the florals, everything else is in really good shape, but you can see the hand had either fallen off at some point and somebody re-glued it, or it was probably had to be attached to begin with. The glue has discolored. So the piece is $2. So if you want to try and fix that glue or hide that glue, you got $2 for the Blanc de Chine Asian figure. It's only $2 and it's letter K. And yes, the Reiku piece did have a blue swirl on the inside of the bowl. Sorry, Cheryl. So letter K for the Blanc de Chine figurine. And I want to make sure I didn't miss. So somebody's saying that the spatulas did sell. So if somebody could remind me who bought the spatulas, I would appreciate that. Blanc de Chine, so it's B-L-A-N-C, which just means white. So Blanc, B-L-A-N-C, D-E, or just a letter D. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. And then Chine is C-H-I-N-E. All it means is white china. Blanc de Chine just sounds fancy, but it's usually used in things like that, where it's a figure of a person. It's usually a figure of a scholar or something in long white robes. So it's a Blanc de Chine figure. They are worth a lot more money if they're in perfect condition. This one is not, and I didn't want it to go to Goodwill because it would be in worse condition. So I'm sorry. Thank you so much for letter G went to Cheryl Hoskins. I'm so sorry I missed that. I knew it had to have sold because I wrote it down, but then I never filled in the name. So I apologize, Cheryl. I did not mean to skip over you. So thank you, Auntie Christy, Blanc de Chine. Depending on how they're originally marked, I mean, I've seen Blanc de Chine figures for hundreds of dollars in that size. So it depends on how detailed they are and if they have any markings at all. This one was not a high end because it's unfinished on the bottom. It's just the blank, the blank china, the light blank porcelain. So it wasn't a high-end piece, because even if it's a high-end piece, even with broken, it'd be worth like 20 to 40 bucks. It's worth more than $2, but I don't like to sell damaged stuff. So you get it for $2. That's take advantage of it. Okay, now Gabrielle's just showing off. So I have no idea what that means. So maybe fills in, Gabrielle. All right. The next one is, again, it's a piece that it wasn't the highest. They're not the highest quality. I did put them in my booth, but when they made me retag, I'm like, you know what? They weren't selling because these are Melmac plates, and they actually use the word Melmac in the label. And if you know anything about Melmac, only the people that purchased the resin from the company that invented it could actually say they were Melmac. Otherwise, it was melamine. If it says Melmac, it is worth more. But these are in very rough condition. These have utensil marks all the way across them. I tried to polish, clean them up the best I can. This one has some staining you can see on there. I took some Barkeeper's Friend to it, and I was afraid to get too aggressive because I didn't want the scratches to get heavier. I have 3 of this terracotta color and 1 of the lime. Sorry, that was probably loud. 1 of the lime green color. I'm just selling. They used to be $2 a piece. I'm selling all 4 of them for $2. So you get the entire lot of 4 Melmac marked plates. Melmac plates, a total of 4 plates for a grand total of $2. So $2 total for all 4. 4 plates by giving me a letter Q. 4 plates, letter Q for the 4 Melmac plates. Now, granted, remember, these are going to have some weight to them. So depending on what else, what's shipping, your $2 is going to grow because it's going to cost me stuff to ship it. All right. Did anyone buy the Blanc de Chine? We kept talking about it, but yes, an elf is from the planet Melmac. We had all the conversation about Blanc de Chine, but I didn't see if anyone bought it. So I'm scrolling here. I'm sorry, lost. Yes, letter G went to Cheryl, letter O went to Nenny. Okay, so it looks like nobody bought it. So letter K was the Blanc de Chine. Looks like, yeah, so no one bought the figurine. That's totally fine. It looks like I did have some takers on A. What was A? What did I tell? Oh, the Melmac. No, that was Q. We had some takers on Q. Q went to Karen Dondelinger. So the Melmac plates go to Karen Dondelinger. All right. I want to finish by 9 o'clock. So I've only got a couple items left. These were fun. These were on a haul video a while back, and it was one of those cases I couldn't figure out what to do with them. So I figured, you know what? I'm just going to put them into the bargain bin. These were a set of vintage coasters. Pay attention, Melody and Halam. So we've got these vintage paper coasters with Manhattan, the recipes for the Manhattan, Martini, Old Fashioned, Pink Lady, Alexander, Bloody Mary, Champagne Cocktail, Coffee Cocktail, Sidecar, Slow Gin Fizz, Whiskey Sour, and Singapore Sling. Collins, Daiquiri, Gimlet, and Gin Fizz, and Planter's Punch, Rob Roy, Screwdriver, and Shamrock. So these are ephemera that were designed to be used once and be gone. They came as a little set. They have these little paper inserts, these little parchment paper inserts to go between them. Okay, I've got 5 minutes. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different recipe cards of these paper napkins, or paper coasters. So got some coasters. They're very cool. I personally think these would be framed. Like these would just be exactly, Maria. I 100% agree. These would look fantastic, either like collage style, like kind of like cattywampus, or just a small 4" by 4" frame, one for each. I think these would look fantastic. So it is a set of paper coasters with cocktail recipes on them. It is $2 for the entire set, by giving me letter N. $2 for all of the paper coasters. They give me N for nest. I've only got 1 item left, and this one I only include because I had the snowballs earlier, which somebody did buy, I think. Somebody, maybe. Those crystal snowballs went to Mold Stuff Beth Tech from Texas. You do not need to add this too, but this was another one of those random pieces that was in that box lot. It was all this style of this like rock crystal, like rough design. So it's smooth on the inside, but it's got that same snowflake type snowball pattern on the back side. It's just this random plate. There's no marking to it. I don't think this would be crystal, but it does match all the other Costa Boda stuff. So I don't know if you'd want to eat off of this, or, you know, maybe you do. But I do think it's a Costa Boda crystal plate. I just wonder because, you know, you don't really want to eat off of lead crystal, but it matches everything else. And some of them had that Costa Boda label on it, including the crab plates, which, if you remember, I sold those on this sale before. Those had the Costa Boda label. So you've got this crystal simple plate. It's kind of got a weird shape to it. It's like kind of circular, but it's got a very rough edge to it. It's kind of funky. Didn't know what else to do with it. So I'm selling it here for $2. And it's J. Letter J for jam for the $2 for the little glass underplate. It would look great on a stand behind a bunch of other stuff, because it does have a really, with that weird like rough design, it refracts the light really, really well. So it's kind of cool. So $2. $2, letter J for that. And I'm sorry, I lied. I had one other item. I didn't see it until I lifted that one out. One more coaster. So I've got one little coaster, unmarked. It is the blue and white. It's a country coaching scene. It's kind of deep, you know, for a coaster. I do think it's the size of a coaster, but it is, you know, it's almost like a small bowl. So there's no stamps on it. There's no marks to it. I would say it's still a coaster, but it could be like for soy sauce. It could be, you know, you could put some condiment in there if you actually wanted to use it. Otherwise, it's just a cool blue and white decorative plate that just has a kind of a cool design to it. And it's $2. So, and it looks like Y went to somebody. Letter J went to Laura Ann. So the clear plate went to Laura Ann. And somebody was asking for Y, which I don't remember what Y was. Remind me what Y was. I've got Y sitting here, but I don't remember using it for anything. It's not, or was that the coasters? I think Y was no. Was Y the coasters? No. N was the coasters. Did anyone take the coasters? I must have missed that. I don't think I used Y. I do have it sitting here, but I don't remember holding it up. But I did use N for the coasters, and that went to Gabrielle White. So thanks to Gabrielle for picking that up. And I'll add that. And no, I don't think I did use Y. So I apologize for Jenny. You mentioned Y. If you meant something else, let me know. So I was going to use Y for this, but I won't. So I will use the next letter I've got, which is M. So the little blue and white coaster is letter M. And Maria, if you've bought from me before, I really don't need your information. It's not bad to share with me, but it's not the end of the world. Like, that's what I do, and everyone does it differently. But I have all of the numbers and the items and the price, and then I just write down who bought it. So as long as I've got a helper who can help me identify, I know what you bought. So the only time is if somebody argues, like, wait, I thought I was first. So letter M went to somebody. I just saw somebody try and claim it. Letter M goes to Melissa Lynn. So thank you. The little blue and white coaster And it's 9 o'clock. I finished. It's right on time. So it looks like, so Michelle looks like she's going to do a video talking a little bit more about Kelly from Found Again. So I encourage everyone to go over and join that, find out a little bit more information, because I have not spoken to the daughter since last night, late last night. So I have not had additional information. If I watch that video, share what you can on there. If you personally are interested and you knew Kelly or had worked with Kelly or spoken to Kelly through the chats, if you want to be included in the card that I send over there, please send me an email or comment on my Instagram. I'll try and grab names from Michelle as well. But if we can keep this simple, I'm not going to be able to go back through the chat and find any comments throughout the chat. So if you wanted to be included, send an email to the email address on the screen, and I will just make sure that you're included from the live sale. I'm going to do a card for the live sale people, a card for the Instagram people. I'm just, I want to have multiple cards, to show that she is loved and she is remembered and people were thinking of her. Are thinking of her. And so hopefully she does well. She is only about half an hour from me. So I'll try and get something to her this weekend. So please, if you want to be included in that, comment on my Instagram story where I posted about this, or the post, or send me an email directly and I will just make sure you are included. Thank you so much for joining the sale. If you had not purchased from me, and I do have a couple new names, if you had not purchased from me, please make sure you send me an email to this address with your shipping information. It does take me a couple of days to turn these things around. I'm by myself to do these, and I will try and get you all of your invoices done by Saturday night. If you don't hear from me by Sunday, you can poke me. Maybe it went into your spam, or maybe I got busy. But so there will be a couple of days. And again, you're unfortunately not going to be able to get these things by Christmas. For the locals, there's only 1 or 2 locals. If you want your things by Christmas, then make sure you email me and we will try and set something up in plenty of time. So thanks again for the sale. Thanks for giving me all of your time. Thanks for joining the chat. And once again, thank you for putting your trust in Trusty Huckster. And thank you so much, Barb, for helping out. You did not sign on thinking you needed to do that. So I do really appreciate it, but you do a great job. And anyone who doesn't already follow Jeffrey at Real Nifty Vintage, check out their sale tomorrow night, starting at 7:30 Eastern. Barb is on there as well. She'll be moderating and having her own sale. Definitely support her as she's supporting us. So thanks again, everybody, and have a great night. Bye-bye.